Hi all, welcome to Learn Code Repeat. So today we'll be looking at day 20th of the Lead Code September challenge. The name of the problem is Unique Path 3. This problem has been asked by Amazon, Facebook and Google. Let's look at the problem. So the problem says that on a two-dimensional grid there are four types of squares. One represents the starting square, two represents the ending square, and there is exactly one of those squares. 0 represents the empty square we can walk over, and -1 represents the obstacle that we cannot walk over. Return the number of 4 directional walks from the starting square to the ending square that walk over every non-obstacle square exactly once. So this is an important point, that we have to walk over every non-obstacle square. So all the squares representing zeros needs to be covered. And this is the first example. So let's look into the first example. So in the first example, right, this is the grid that has been represented, and so if you see that 1 is at the start of the grid, but that may not be the case every time, because they have mentioned that the start of the grid can be at any cell, and similarly the end of the grid can be at any cell. So the start is represented by 1, the end is represented by 2. So from 1 we have to start, and we have to find a path till 2, and -1 is the obstacle, right? So we cannot go from here. Okay, so one of the points that they have mentioned is that we can go in all four directions, right? So we can go from here, up, down, left and right. So let's take this example, how we can reach from 1 to 2, right? So if I start from 1, I can go to this position, or I can go to this position, right? So let's take the right direction, right? So if I go from 1 to 0 on the right side, then from here I can go to here, and then I can go to here, and now I cannot go on this direction, right, because it's at the end of the grid, right? So the only direction that I can go to, and similarly I cannot go to the top direction, so I can go only to the down direction, right? So I'll go here, from here, and then again I cannot go down because -1 is the obstacle, so I'll go to the left here. Now if you see, from 0, from this particular cell I can go to 2, right? However, since one of the condition is that I need to cover all the empty cells, so I cannot directly go to 2 here until I cover all the empty cells, right, which are remaining. So this is not possible at this point of time. So here I can go to again this particular cell, or I can go to this particular cell, and then I can come here, and then here, and then here, right? So this is one of the path where I'm covering all the empty cells, and then I'm coming to 2, right? So I've covered all the cells like this, and then I've reached 2, right? This is one path. So now let's look into the second direction, which was the down direction, right? So let me erase this part. Okay, so now let's take this downward direction, right? So at the start there was two directions that was possible, one was right and one was down. So right, we took one direction and we found one path, right? Now let's take the down direction. If we go by that way, right, so I could have gone from here to here, then I could have gone here, and then here, and then I cannot reach this 2 before covering all the empty cells, right? So I have to go up, right? And then this was not visited earlier, so I need to go here, here, then here, and then I cannot go to 2, so I can only go to this part, and then I can go to this part. Now from here, if you see, I cannot go to top, I cannot go to right, I cannot go to left either, because left was already visited, right? Since it has to be a unique path, I cannot go in circle, I cannot visit an already visited cells again, right? So this particular case will not give me the proper path, right? So I have to backtrack from here. So by backtracking, what I mean is, so we reached here at the end, I need to backtrack from here, I need to backtrack from here. So let me erase this. Okay, so I'll backtrack from here, I'll again backtrack from here as well. I'll see whether I can cover all the empty cells, but the empty cells are still there, so I'll backtrack from here. And now let's see from here whether I can cover all the empty cells and reach 2, right? So if I was here and I backtrack till this point, and then instead of going down, if I would have gone to the right, and then came down here, and then again came to the left, and then go down, so I can cover all the empty cells that was formed by this path, right, and reach 2. So this is also a valid path, right? So we found 2 valid paths. Now apart from these 2, if you go in any other direction, you won't find a path which would cover all the empty cells and reach 2, right? So our output is 2 here. Now let's break down the steps that we took, right, and analyze what we did in the steps, right? The first step was we have to find out which cell is the starting cell, right? So we have to go through the grid and find the starting cell, right? The second step is once we found the starting cell, we can go in all 4 direction, right? So try to go in 4 direction, and within this, if obstacle was there, then return. Okay, or if already visited, then return. Or the other condition that we were checking, that if we already reached 2 but all the empty cells are not covered, even in that case we have to do a backtrack, right? So these were the conditions that we checked, and once we check this condition, at the end, if cell is 2 and all empty cells covered, all empty cell is covered, then update path variable, right? Let's say path is the variable and I'll do path plus plus. Okay, so this is a pseudocode logic that we'll use for this particular problem. Let's see how we can code this pseudocode. So first point was that I need to find out where is my starting cell, right? So let's do that first. So I'll declare an array start which will store the row and column for my starting cell. So I'm going over through the grid in a loop, and if the cell is having value equal to 1, then this is my starting cell, right? And remember, in the grid there is only one starting cell and one ending cell, right? So here we can have the start value, right? So now since we are going over through the grid, right, we can also track how many empty cells we have, right? And we can make use of this variable where we have stored the empty cells later on while doing the DFS. So that way we'll know that we have covered all the empty cells or not, right? So let's do that. So I've added a condition here. If grid of ij equal to 0, which is for the empty cell, then total empty plus plus. So that way I'll know how many total empty cells we have, right? And after that I need to go over in all 4 direction and do a DFS through that, right? So let me declare a path variable here, a global path variable, which I'll be incrementing once I find the right condition, that is I've reached cell 2 and I've covered all the empty cells. In that case I need to increment this path variable. So I'll declare the path variable here. Now I'm declaring a DFS method. I'll use this method to go over in the grid in a DFS fashion, right? So for that I'll need the grid. I'll need the row and column which I need to go to. Also I need to know till now how many empty cells are there. So what is the remaining empty cells? So while going over the grid in a DFS fashion, I need to check for my boundary conditions that I should not go beyond the grid. So that will be one of my criteria as a base condition. So as a base condition I have added the criteria if my row is less than 0 or my row go beyond the grid length. Similarly column is less than 0 or column goes beyond the grid column length. And also if the cell is the obstacle cell, in that case I need to return back, right? I cannot go over from there, right? So that is my base condition here. So once I visit a cell, right, I need to make sure that I don't go in a loop in that same path. So I need to mark that cell as visited, right? So here in this problem statement we have used numbers 1 to 0 minus 1. So we are not using any other number apart from this, right? So for this problem sake, I can use the number 3 to mark that cell as visited. So let's say I declare grid of R and C equal to 3. So I'll mark the current cell as 3. This will indicate that the current cell has already visited. So in the same path, I should not be visiting this cell again, right? So let's add that condition as well in my base condition. So I'm adding this condition as well. If the grid RC, that means the current cell is 3, even in that case, return back, right? So once I have marked this as visited, I can go in all 4 direction, right? So I'll do a recursive call to DFS. So let's say I'm going in the right direction, right? So column will be 1, and since I have visited already this particular cell, so the total empty will be now -1, right? Because this current cell has already been visited, so that empty, from the total empty variable we have to remove 1, so it will be -1. Similarly we have to do for all other 3 directions. This will be -1 for column, and then column will remain same, and I'll do row +1 and -1. Now once this is done, right, I need to add a base condition for what if I reach the cell 2, right? In that case also I need to add the base condition. So in this case I need to check if my total empty is equal to 0. If it is 0, that means I have covered all my empty cells, right? In that case I can do a path ++, right? And if total empty is not equal to 0, in that case I need to return. I don't need to do a path ++, right? So that's why I've put it this way and not in the AND condition, right? So if grid is equal to 2, then in that case I should not go beyond that. I should not cross that end grid, right? So I should return in any case, right? Whether I'm incrementing the path or I'm not incrementing the path. But however, if total empty is equal to 0, that means I have covered all the empty cells, right? In that case I need to increment my path. So I'm incrementing the path here, right? Okay, so I think this DFS method is good, and I need to call the same thing in my main method as well, because from start cell I can go in all 4 direction. So I will call the DFS for all 4 direction. So grid, instead of R it should be start of 0, because that is storing my row number, and start of 1 is storing my column number. And in the start, total empty will be as is. We should not be subtracting -1, because the current cell is a start cell, so it's not an empty cell. Okay, I think we have covered all the scenarios. So initially we are going through and we are finding out which is the start cell, and also we are tracking how many empty cells are there. Once we have the empty cells, then we are calling DFS in all 4 direction, that is left, right, top, bottom. And in the DFS I'm having a base condition to check we are not going beyond the boundary. Also I'm having a base condition to check that it's a obstacle cell, then return, or if the cell is already visited, then return. Then I am having a base condition to check if I have reached the end cell, which is 2, and if the total empty equal to 0, then increment the path. In either case return if my cell is equal to 2. Then I'm marking the cell as visited and again going in all 4 direction, right? Now one thing that I missed here, which I need to add, is I need to again mark the cell as unvisited. The reason why I need to mark this as unvisited is because if, for example, right, this particular path that I'm taking is not the correct path, I need to backtrack. So that is the backtracking that's happening here. So if I'm backtracking, that means that current cell that I visited needs to be marked as unvisited, right? So it needs to be a blank cell, and we know that currently it was blank cell, because if it is not a blank cell, then we won't reach till this point, right? Because all of the base condition will be taken care here. So that's why we are directly marking this as 0. Okay, now let's run this code and see whether it works fine. Missing return statement at 21. We have not written the path here. Path, run code, expected tree. Okay, one more condition that we should add here is that if while going over that, we can have the grid RC to be equal to 1, right? It can be the start condition as well. So we have to add it here that I should not go back to my starting grid, right? So I'm adding that as well here in my base condition. Okay. Okay, now it's good. Let's submit this. And it's accepted. So let's go into details, and it's 0 millisecond and 100% faster, right? So the time complexity for this particular algorithm, right, if you see here, so here the time complexity, right, to get that, let's assume that this is 0 and this is 1, right? So from this starting cell, right, I can go to this direction, to this direction, to this direction, and to this direction, right? These are the 4 directions that I can go in, right? And once I take the 4 direction, right, and once I take the 4 direction, right, let's say now I'm at right direction, right, I took this direction. From here I can go to this particular direction, or this direction. I cannot go back to this particular direction, right, because I came from this direction, so this is already visited. So once I take a path, I can only go in 3 direction, right? And in all 3 direction I will first take a path, and then I'll do a backtracking based on whether I reached the cell 2 or not, and whether all the empty cells are covered, right? So if you see, it will form a tree, right? But it will form a tree for 3 directions. So from here I am going to 3 particular direction, and then again I am going from each cell to 3 particular direction, right? So it's forming a tree, right? And for this tree, the time complexity will be 3 raised to n. Okay, because I am going through each 3 direction and doing a backtracking, so I am doing a DFS for these 3 directions. So the time complexity will be approximately 3 raised to n. It's similar to a binary tree, but in binary tree, if we go through the binary tree, since it's only 2 directions that we take, so it's 2 raised to n. Similarly here, in this case, it will be 3 raised to n, right? So that's it for this video. If you like the explanation, please hit the like button and do subscribe to this channel for future such videos. Thank you.